Alrighty everyone, well game number 3 in this best of 5 series finds us on King's Cove LE. Spawning here in the bottom right hand corner of the map, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. He's currently up in this series and wants to close out this series right here and right now. His name is Dark. And his opponent spawning in the top left hand corner of the map, playing with the red Zerg pieces. He's currently down, but certainly not out of this series just yet. His name is Solar. So guys and girls, this series has been very interesting so far. So we had game number 1, a macro focus game between these two players. And by the way, a couple of the best Zerg players out there in the world, may I mention. But game number 1 was more of a macro focus game that ended up turning into, a timing attack by Dark. That was a Nidus network push, and it ended up kind of not working at first, but Dark was very patient and just slowly but surely was able to overwhelm Solar's bases. And so that was kind of game number 1, right, a macro focus game. Then we get into game number 2, and Solar decides to go for a very quick spawning pool, and he goes for a complete and utter cheese on his opponent. So he cheesed Dark extremely hard in game number 2, but Dark was able, with some good defense and some good micro, was able to kind of withstand that push that Solar had. And so Dark has been able to take a quick 2-0 lead over Solar, and now Solar has got his back against the wall. What are you going to do in this current situation? Well, it seems like he is going to be playing most likely a macro focus game here, because what we're going to see is a hatch gas pool opener with a quick third hatchery going up. The same can be said for Dark. So both players, I think now, it's going to be interesting. It kind of looks like both players are kind of going to most likely play somewhat of a macro focus game. Not to say that there's not going to be any cheeses or any timing attacks, which I'm sure there will be plenty of that in the ZvZ matchup, because there's a lot of that as there is. But it's very, I like the move by Solar, to be honest, of staying aggressive. Being aggressive in game number 2, trying to take a map off of Dark. But when you're going up against one of the best Zerg players in the world, it's very difficult to do that and to actually get away with it. So, it's one of those things. I like the aggression, though, by Solar. I really think that he needs to be the one in this game to take the fight to Dark. Because if you allow Dark to really just dictate the pace of the game, you can just kind of almost guarantee that you're going to have to GG out at some point or another, because he is just going to out macro you throughout at some point or another. So you really just got to take the fight to him and try to win the small battles that you can. So it'll be interesting. It looks like, very up at the top left-hand corner, very similar on the production tabs. Does look like we are going to see Dark going for that Roach Warren. And so he's going to be going for the Roach Warren. We're going to see both players going for that metabolic boost upgrade, which of course is the Zergling speed upgrade, the most standard upgrade for a Zerg player. And it looks like the same can be said now for Solar. He's going to be going for that Roach Warren as well. So we're probably going to see Ling Roach possibly move into Ravengers if they, depending on which player ends up going for their lair. Or maybe we'll see Hydra. It's hard to say, at least at this point. A nice little scout here by Solar, seeing kind of what's going on. It's all about that scouting information. It's a massive chess matchup between these two players. And of course, these players really know the styles of one another. They know what each other kind of does, generally speaking, in these games. So it's always about trying to outsmart your opponent in the ZvZ matchup. So it does look like Dark is now going to go ahead and get his evolution chambers. He's going to probably start getting those +1 upgrades going for the ground-based units. The same can be said now for Solar. We are going to see a second one going down. So +1/+1 we are going to see probably out of Dark. It looks like Dark's going to wall this off so that those Zerglings cannot get in there as of yet. We are going to see the Zerglings, though, moving towards that third base location of Dark. And here we go. It does look like do not want to overcommit here, because you could lose all of those in the touch of a button, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, we're approaching that 5-minute mark. looks pretty standard on both sides of the map. Nothing terribly out of the ordinary yet. We're going to see both players also, I mean, they're really kind of almost reading each other's minds at this point, as both players are going for those layers. So we're going to see those higher tier layer-based units coming in. I'm assuming we might be seeing Ravagers, possibly Hydras would be interesting. Maybe we'll even see a Spire like we did in game number 1 out of Solar. That said, these Zerglings were able to make it into the main base location. They are going to be able to get a couple of kills for their troubles, but they are going to be cleaned up here relatively quickly before any kinds of critical losses are taken. Now we are going to see Katowice Carapace coming in and being researched for Solar, which of course is the Overlord speed. It's actually one of my favorite upgrades for the Zerg pieces. Love having, you know, the speed of the Overlords to really get some good scouting information, because it's all about scouting. That's what the matchup is all about, or really what StarCraft 2 is all about, is knowing exactly what your opponent's doing. And if you can find those things out sooner than later, of course, that's a nice advantage. That said, we are going to see Glad Reconstitution that's going to be researched here for Solar as well. So he's starting to ramp up that production as he is going for that 4th hatchery at this point. Katowice Carapace is going to be finishing up, as well as missile attacks level 1 for Solar. And both players really give each other a lot of respect at this point. They're giving each other a lot of, you know, really well-deserved respect, and that's what I like to see. I'm excited to see who's going to get the advantage here, but I would love to see our Red Zerg player Solar go for start getting a little bit aggressive, and I think that's what he is going to need to do if he wants to win this matchup against Dark. So it looks like the army compositions as of right now are mainly Roaches. Seeing a couple of Zerglings here and there, but for the most part, it is Roaches. That's pretty much that's pretty much the composition. You're starting to see some Queens as well, that are going to be good for, of course, that that stellar defense. Glad Reconstitution is just finishing up now for Solar, and so now we're seeing a lot of these units are starting to move across the map. We're starting to see the Ravagers are going to be coming in now for Dark. So it looks like Roaches, Ravagers is what the unit composition is going to be here for Dark. And then Solar, same thing, essentially. It looks like Glad Reconstitution missile attacks are going to be finishing up a little bit later for Dark. So he's a little bit behind of the upgrade count, and that's making me a little bit concerned currently. Because we already have +2 coming in of those missile attacks for Solar, and when those finish up, it's going to be kind of scary. Now, we are going to see a transition here by Solar, and I love this. We are going to see none other than the Nidus Worm once again, but it looks like this Nidus Worm is going to be taken out before it even gets started, and here we go. Dark is on top of it. Beautiful defense by Dark. It's all going to come down to the engagements, though, and here we go. It's all about the strength in numbers, as Solar really wants to take the fight to him, and now that Dark does know that the Nidus network is out, here we go. We are going to start seeing most likely some Queens, maybe even more Roaches coming out. And Dark is on top of it, though. Dark is playing very well right now, getting aggressive and not allowing that Nidus Worm to do much at all. But the Nidus Worm, once again, is coming to that main base location. And this is exactly what Solar wants to do. He wants to put that pressure on, not allow Dark to get comfortable. Keep the pressure going. The fight is still happening in the middle of the map. Missile attacks level 2 is going to be finishing up here in less than 10 seconds for Solar. And now we're seeing the Dropper Lords. Solar is really pulling out all of the, very interesting builds, like, some of those, aggressive builds. And I really like it. It's really starting to put that pressure on. And here we go. Dark, is he overextending here? He might very well be. I don't know if I like this decision by Dark. I think he might have overstayed his welcome a little bit. Those bios are landing, but it does look like Solar has the strength in numbers as of right now. Now he's going to be able to chase Dark back to his own base, and very interesting play here as we see another Nidus Worm is going to be coming in here for Solar, and I think this is really to keep his opponent at bay here. And here we go once again. Vials are coming down, and it does look like both players at 200 supply right now, at that supply, full supply, and here we go. It does look like both players jostling back and forth right now, and you're going to notice that a lot in these matchups. But here we go. It does look like once again in the middle of the map, Dark and Solar both trying to see who can get the advantage, and I don't know. Is Solar going to be able to get this Nidus Worm out? It looks like there might very well be a chance that this happens. It is going to get out, and it looks like there are going to be a few of those roaches are going to be able to come out of that Nidus Worm, but nothing too crazy as of yet. Here we go, though. Looks like once again Solar is trying to kind of really deal as much damage as he possibly can here. He does not want Dark to get comfortable. And now we are going to see the transition. We're going to see Burrow being researched. We're also going to see that missile attacks level 2 finishing up here for Dark. And Burrow's finishing up in less than 10 seconds. But there are just things happening all over the map. The reinforcements are coming in. We're going to see once again another Nidus Worm coming in once again. And Dark does see this coming. It looks like he's going to try to get right on top of that. And this is really interesting. I really like this decision making by Solar. Trying to keep Dark guessing. Where are these Nidus Worms? Where are they going to be coming from? And now it looks like Solar, it might be planning a surround on his opponent. I love this decision a lot. Here we go. Could the surround be coming in? There's a good possibility as Solar once again is trying to get trying to get an advantage here. And that Nidus Worm is going to go down once again. But looks like Solar now wants to move back home as we approach that 11.5-minute mark. The Spire's going down for Dark as now we're seeing the transition into the Hydralisk Den for Solar. And looks like now we're going to see Dark moving across the map once again. Looks like he once again wants to be somewhat aggressive and do what he can to maybe try to take out this third base location this fourth base location of Solar. We're going to see Burrow being researched now as well for Solar. And, I mean, it's just really, it's very interesting. We are going to see, once again, that Nidus Worm is going to be going down right where that next hatchery is going to be. And here we go. The fight is going to continue in the middle of the map. This has been a real central location of the fight. And now we're going to see these roaches are going to try to get the cancel on this 5th hatchery. They do exactly that, but now they're going to start moving up into the 4th base location. They're going to try to do a little bit of some damage, and here comes Solar. Solar is starting to try to do a little bit of damage in multiple areas. Burrow is being used on a few of those roaches here. Beautiful play by Solar. He is really starting to create some problems for Dark. He's going to go straight for that main base location, and this could actually do some damage. Here comes the Nidus Worm, and once again, they're trying to chase down Solar's army all the way back home, which is a bunch of Mutalisks, which was a great transition. But once again, we are seeing Dark. He is being tested right now. There's not a lot here that's really going to be able to do a good amount of damage. So this is some beautiful play by Dark. He is really starting to do a little bit of some damage to this army. And here we go. We're seeing a lot of these units now. Beautiful micro here by Solar. He's even utilizing Burrow on those drones. And once again, it's really just coming down to back and forth between these players. I like where Dark stands now, that he's starting to do a little bit of some damage. He's starting to get some of those Hydras for his troubles. And you just got to be careful. You don't want to lose all of these units. That is for sure. But both players, once again, almost at that 200 supply once again. We are going to start seeing, some more of these Dropper Lords. We're seeing, these Lurkers. Ground Carapace level 2 finishes up now for Dark. And he just feels like he's been a little bit behind of the upgrade count. But here we go. It looks like Dark is hitting in multiple angles at once because he's got all of those Mutalisks in that natural base location. But I just don't know. Is there going to be enough here for Dark at this point? As Evolve, Muscular Augments, Tunneling Claws, and Ground Carapace level 2 are all finishing up here in the next 5 seconds for Solar. And it just feels like he's been ahead when it comes to the upgrade count. But here we go. trying to get that 5th base location. It does look like Solar is going to jump right on this army of Roaches and Ravagers. He is going to start chasing them down. He is doing some damage. Beautiful player, and those biles are actually landing as well. But it does look like Solar, he has started losing a little bit of that supply as we are approaching that 15-minute mark in this game. What a back and forth engagement between these two players. The Lurkers are burrowing. It looks like they are going to lose one of those, or Solar's going to lose one of those. Solar's behind, but he's certainly not out of this game just yet. I mean, you can just tell that there is absolutely no way he's out of this. One good engagement, and this could completely, you know, change the tide of this game. And here come more Roaches into that natural and main base location, and they could do a little bit of some damage here to some of these Roaches. That looks exactly what they're doing. If the station pit is going down, it looks like Dark very well may be transitioning into going for Lurkers, but he's also looks like he's going to be maybe going towards those higher tier hive-based units. And here comes another Nidus Worm, and this is what Solar's been doing all game, and I actually really like what he is doing. He is absolutely keeping, you know, Dark at bay somewhat. And here comes another Nidus Worm. It just looks like what Solar's trying to do is he's trying to create problems for Dark. He's trying to make Dark split up his army in multiple areas, and this is how you beat Dark. This is how you could potentially grab a game off of Dark, is by throwing him off, by forcing him to split up his armies. That could very well be a way to make it happen. Now we are going to see another Nidus Worm coming in somewhat near this 5th base location. You're going to have to kind of keep an eye on that. Those Lurkers are in a good position, so it's all going to come down to these engagements, though. This is where it's going to get very interesting. We are going to see another Nidus Worm. We're going to see more and more Roaches coming in, but this is what Solar's been doing all game long. He's moving towards that 5th base location, and it looks like at this point we are going to see more and more Roaches. I really feel that Solar he was just trying to, you know, do so much. He could have done more damage than he is right now, but he's just, you know, trying to focus on a lot of different things at once. Now this base, the 5th base, did go down. We're going to have to kind of keep track of that. But just a lot of damage is being dealt now over in that natural base location. Another Nidus Worm's going down. We are going to see, okay, it looks like these Lurkers did get caught off guard a little bit. They are going to have to burrow here shortly, but yeah, just so much damage is just being dealt. It looks like if these Roaches, they do end up getting that Hydralisk Den, that is actually a massive pickup there. And now we're going to start seeing even, you know, the hives are going to be coming in for both players. Wow, this is just an insane matchup as we approach that 18-minute mark between these two players. Absolutely back and forth engagements. But I really feel that Solar has done really well so far. Actually, you know, kind of just keeping Dark on his toes at this point. And it looks like Solar very well might start moving in here. He is moving down once again towards that 5th base location. And here we go. These engagements are absolutely insane because it just is all coming down to they're, you know, splitting up their army so well. I mean, this is such hard. It takes so much skill, guys, to do what these guys are doing. They are just completely managing multiple things at once. And, you know, and that's what makes StarCraft 2 the most difficult game in the world to really play. But Solar is everywhere. Look at Solar. He is everywhere, but at the same time, you see Dark. He is as well. But, you know, I feel like there's more defense at home there for Solar than there is for Dark. Unreal, guys. This has been an incredible game between these two. And, I mean, this is Solar knows. I mean, it's all on the line right here. If he loses here, it is over. It is game over. He has no chance at moving onwards to, you know, the semifinals here at the IEM Katowice, and he's playing like it's all on the line right here because it really is. He is doing a lot of damage now. He's got a pretty good angle, but the question is it going to be enough, as there is just a lot of units that are trying to pounce on this army. The Vipers are out, but there is still a lot of damage that's coming in. Dark supply is going down, but is there an overextension here? The Biles come down, and oh my god, it looks like Dark's army is starting to crumble here as those Vipers are being target fired down as well. Somehow, some way, the Lurkers and everything are really doing a lot of damage. The Hydralisks are doing a lot of damage as well. Beautiful play here so far by Solar. It's not over yet. Solar's got to be very careful. He does not want to overextend here. It looks like more and more units are going to be coming down. They are starting to go after that 5th base location. Finally, Dark does clean this up. There's more units that are moving. It does look like there were some units that just ran to their deaths there. And it looks like these Lurkers are in just a beautiful position. They are just going to take out so many of these units, as in Roaches and Hydras. So beautiful play there by Dark, kind of trying to, try to get back a little bit into this game, which he absolutely is at this point. And it looks like he's going for a counterattack. We are going to start seeing Vipers coming in now for Solar. It's all about positioning, though, on these Lurkers. These Lurkers are going to try to get into a good position here. But it looks like right now Solar's trying to regroup his army. He does not want to take this engagement. Solar's in a nice spot now to possibly or potentially take this 4th base location. Looks like he is going absolutely after it. Here come the abducts, though, by those Vipers. They are going to get those. They are going to get a few of those Lurkers. Beautiful play there by Solar, kind of softening up this army right now as he's hitting at the opposite side of the map once again. He has just units all over the place doing damage. But that 4th base location does go down. And now you're wondering, is the tide turning for Dark? Because Dark knows what's on the line here. He just wants to close this thing out. He does not want this to go any longer. He wants to finish this thing out. And, I mean, I would as well. But Solar will not go away. He is continuing to do damage here on the opposite side of the map. He's forcing Dark to come all the way back home, which is his long, these, like, just long journeys across the map. And now we're seeing Solar. He's now moving across the map, and it's just been back and forth, back and forth. Those +3 upgrades are starting to come in as well. And here we go. The abducts are coming in. Beautiful abducts on those Vipers. They're not able to take those down. That would have been absolutely devastating if those abducts would have ended up, really costing Dark. But Dark is starting to take a nice lead here as he is kind of just essentially swallowing this army whole. Here we go. Dark is starting to take a nice little lead here. I really like this by Dark. But is he going to overextend once again, though, is the question. Is he going to overextend? I'm saying, like, overextend again as if he already did, which he really has not overextended as of yet. But here we go. It looks like Dark wants to go in for the killing blow here as we have a group of Roaches that are burrowed going across the map for Solar. Here come more abducts. They are going to try to get more and more of these units. Here we go. Is Dark overextending? It looks like, as of right now, he is going to start target firing down this this natural base location. I don't know if he's going to get it, though. I feel like there might have been a little bit of an overextension here by Dark, and somehow, some way, Solar is back in the driver's seat of this game. Missile attacks level 3 completes for Solar, and now, who's got the advantage? I gotta say, I feel like Solar does, but it feels like there's slight overextensions on both sides of the map by both players. I mean, it just really does. I mean, we passed that 23.5-minute mark, and now you're in the late game here. And here we go. Is there going to be another overextension by one of these players? More abducts there. Oh, I just don't know if I like that Solar is really trying to push this at this point. I just don't know if he's going to have enough here. Now, those Biles do land really well. And here we go. The Blinding Clouds are going to be coming in as well. And I just don't know. It looks like the drones are pulled off the line here. And Dark Supply is continuing to plummet. GG is called. And Solar, just like that, gets on the scoreboard. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between Dark and Solar. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe for news, stay positive. And I'll see you guys all in game number 4.